basically.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. All right, welcome back. We are in Mage Land. We are starting with Mage, one of the most common classes. Easy class to play. Pretty powerful class. Let's see what happens to them in KFT.
Definitely. All right, so we are going to start with a card that I think is very representative of where Mage is going in this expansion. It is a very small card, 1 mana spell, Breath of Sindragosa, common 1 mana spell that says deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion and freeze it.
Remember, we are starting a Mage, but freezes are off right now in terms of the effect of the freeze. So the freeze effect is going to be quite significantly lower for the freeze effect. So this is right now rated at 125. It'll probably end up around like a 115.
Right, and certainly like a pretty good card, right? It won't be like the premium score it has right now, and you see the its use. You know, you pay 1 mana, you should get 2 damage, and the freeze is extra, but then the randomness kind of penalizes it. This is kind of representative of what Mage is getting in this set because they get some tricky cards, they get some decently powerful cards, but the size is gone, right? And we will see that with the later cards as well. So we start with the Breath of Sindragosa, and we can move on to Ice Walker. Ice Walker is a 2 mana minion, rare minion. It's got 1 attack, 3 health. It's got the elemental tag to it. And it has the ability, your hero power also freezes the target. So I'm guessing the score for this one is also a little in flux.
Yep, it is also a little in flux. It's going to end up like a little below a Yeti, not like a little above a Yeti. It's not freezing like that many things, but yeah, Yeti is once again at 111. This is 113. It's probably going to end up at like, I don't know, maybe like 107 or something.
Yeah, so this card I think is really interesting just because the freeze effect is quite powerful, right? We have seen a lot of cards that offer a small body with a freeze effect that are really good. Glacial Shard, and this gives you a recurring freeze ability to pair with your hero power, and it can just be really, really annoying. Certainly not a great curve card, but can be a very useful card in the mid and late game. Okay.
All right. So those are your 2 cards. I guess
yes.
I don't actually like any cards in Mage. Like that in the new cards, right? Because they're not like good cards.
There's a lot of serviceable cards, and I think one of the cards that we will talk about is pretty good. Okay. But
well, I'll talk about the crappy ones then, because I don't like where Blizzard is taking this. This is Mage. Okay. It's the standard normal class. What are you doing to it? You're adding an RNG class. You're adding a weird thing with the hero power. Doomed Apprentice, 3 mana, 3/2. That's a great stat line. Your opponent's spell costs 1 more mana.
Yay!
Fun. This is pretty much not playable. It's right next to Grotesque Dragonhawk.
Right. It's got a 72 score right now. So, yep. And do you want to talk about the other card that's close to it?
Oh, the other card that's close to it? Is there? Oh my God. Frozen Clone. This one is actually not a 71. I'm going to find the actual score to it. Frozen Clone is a... While I find the score, why don't you talk about it?
Sure. So Frozen Clone, another secret to add to the Mage's secret arsenal. And with the Arcanologist, you can really think about drafting 1 or 2 kind of subpar secrets. Anyways, Frozen Clone, 3 mana, common secret that says after your opponent plays a minion, add 2 copies of it to your hand. So we're looking at 3 mana. turning into 2 cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Arcane Intellect is the classic example, but Arcane Intellect, you are grabbing 2 cards that you have chosen out of your deck. And you also get some variety. Here, you have no variety. It's 2 copies of the same card, and your opponent gets to choose which card it is. And although you can force them into some, awkward situations, and they give you premium minions, you never want to leave that choice in your opponent's hand.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad. It's actually gonna be a 78. So okay, so not terribly better than this, but this is a part of the the bug that's happening to a lot of cards. And why Cabal Courier is a 0?
Yeah.
So okay, I'll go one more card. This one's correctly rated. Ghastly Conjurer, 85. It is not a good card. It says it's a 2/6, and it adds a Mirror Image spell to your hand. So Mirror Image is a 1 mana card that is 0/2 taunt. It's useful-ish, but the 4 mana 2/6 body is really bad. So the usefulness of the card is not quite compensating for how bad the Ghastly Conjurer is as a card.
Right.
So yeah. So these are the mage cards you don't really want. Like Ghastly Conjurer is actually playable. Frozen Clone is kind of playable. I really wouldn't want to play this card though. Like you're probably gonna get some small like janky stuff. Then again, right? Like, do they really have small janky stuff anymore? If they, if the 2-drop Apocalypse is real, maybe they don't even have 2-drops in their hands anymore, right? Maybe you're getting a 3, or you're getting at least a 3 and probably like a 4. And if you can get a 4, then it's like okay.
It is okay.
So, but again, you're putting it in your opponents, right? They're going to give you the least useful thing possible.
Right. So you actually missed the best card from Mage, or that the Mage is getting out of the commons and rares, which is Cold Wraith, 3 mana, 3/4 minion. That says battle cry. If an enemy is frozen, draw a card. And I know we have like some weird things going on with the freeze effect.
No, the freeze effect is only like when it's actually freezing something. This one's correctly valued right now.
Gotcha. So right now this is a 127, which is
super
really high.
Like I said, right?
High.
Like good 3-drops are being valued very highly right now.
Yes. Look, 3 mana, 3/4. That's a great stat distribution and stat line that you that can help you just kind of dominate on turn 3, honestly. And the battle cry is not going to go off all the time. It won't even go off, the majority of the time. But when it does go off and you draw an extra card, it's ridiculous. It's just so disgustingly ridiculous when you do get the extra card, and that's what is pushing the score up so high.
Yep. 3/4 kills a 3/3, wins you the game. Yep. 3/4 draws you a card, wins you the game. All right, that's the rares and commons. Let's move on to the epics, which thankfully these epics are really bad. I guess they're really bad. I forgot what the epics were, and I was like, why don't I remember what the mage epics were? And then I remember it's because it's really bad. Let's start with Simulacrum, the better of the 2 epics. It's a 3 mana card that says copy the lowest cost minion in your hand. So you're basically playing 3 mana to get a card, and it could have just been the card to start with. And the card that it started with is probably like not that low of a minion. You probably play your low cost minions before you play this card. You never like play it on turn 3 or whatever. You would it would be turn like 9 or 10. You would play your 2-drop, then your 4-drop, and then you'd copy your 7-drop, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like bottoming out on value. You're still getting a 7-drop out of it in your hand, but it's a 56 because it doesn't like there's probably some weird combos you can do in Constructed, but that's not what it's for in Arena.
Yep, definitely. So subpar card, and I see the next card. The score might be a little bit different than the one shown.
The one shown is 0. And Glacial Mysteries is a really bad card. Make no mistake, but it is not a 0. It is a tiny bit higher than a 0. You want to explain why it's bad? Why tell you the exact score?
Of course. Glacial Mysteries is an 8-mana epic spell that says put one of each secret from your deck into the battlefield. So, man, that is, look, for those of you who want to Christmas tree it up with Mage secrets, you certainly can try, but you're not going to be offered a large variety of secrets in the arena. A lot of Mage secrets are bad as well. And when you play this, those secrets have to be in your deck in order for this to work. So you take all of those situations together and, man, you get a really expensive, really bad card.
You're going to get like one secret. At most, exactly. 2 secrets sometimes. Like, it's not... Or you've drafted a horrible deck. So those are your options. It's a 36.
Yep. Sounds good.
No, wait, no, it's not that. Sorry, it's a 43.
Sounds...
Doesn't matter.
Okay, still.
It's still horrible. Okay, well, almost it. We're doing legendaries now, but we're not going to do Death Knights until the very, very, very end, when we are tired and it is 3 a.m. So, no Death Knights, but there is a Mage legendary, and it's not quite Pyros, but it is still very good.
Yes. So we have Sindragosa, which is an 8-mana, 8/8 dragon that says Battlecry summon 2 0/1 frozen champions. So you summon these kind of 2 little token things, 0/1 frozen champions, and whenever they die, or they have a death rattle that says add a random legendary minion to your hand. Pretty cool, but you do have to find a way to proc that. You do have to find a way for these frozen champions to die.
Your hero power.
Yeah, it is called your hero power. You can do that, although that does take your hero power.
And it does take mana. So you do pay a price for it, but it's a lot of card advantage. And legendaries are, despite some of the legendaries released with this expansion in the Princess, they're generally pretty big. And so it's gonna be good for the late game. And you can just leave them there as long as you want until you actually need them, right?
Yep. So we have the score right now as a 134.
Yep.
And that's Sindragosa.
Yeah, and that's it for the Mage. Overall, not terribly great. There's a lot of weird freeze synergy things that may or may not work out. And, no meteors, no superpower stuff. So that's always a positive direction because Mage is always going to be at least okay. Probably good.
Alrighty.
All right. We'll see you in the next class. Okay. I'm gonna take a break. I need a break.
Yeah. I also need to give